This may seem like a strip of concrete that contains a grassy island in the middle of the neighborhood, covered by a power line. But really, it's a perfect mile. At least it measures out to that. The creators of it, I don't think they had that intention, but they did it anyways. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it really is the perfect place to train if you're a runner, a distance runner, trying to build speed, because it's easy to create a mile repeat, a half mile repeat. It's easy to do some track work. This perfect mile island is primarily flat. It has a 1% grade going up and then a 1% grade going down, and out and back. But you can stack it whichever way you want for your own training. For me, I start at one end and I do mile repeats, or I do half mile repeats. And it's just a great way for me to train. So today, I'm going to be doing mile repeats at the perfect mile to try to test myself, to see where I'm at, where my fitness is at, to see how far I need to progress to reach my goals. Welcome to the Running Bama YouTube channel. My name is Edward. Today, it is Wednesday. First mile, 7:54, a little bit too slow. Mile 2, 7:42, right on track. Mile 3, 7:42. So I hit my goal twice, missed it on one. Feels good to get a short workout like that in. All right, so I'm back in my car. I'm recovering a little bit, about to go pick up the kids, drinking a little Gatorade, trying to rehydrate. It's 75, 76 degrees out there and sunny. And this point in the summer, if I don't rehydrate directly after a run, I end up with a headache. Hydration is important. In the wintertime, I drink a lot of, mostly water. In the summertime, it's like if I'm not drinking electrolytes, often, then I end up having problems. I end up bonking on runs and things like that. But, I did this run on the perfect mile. I used to run back here. I used to live in this neighborhood, and that's how I discovered this plot of land that is a perfect mile, because it's great to run half mile repeats or 800s and mile repeats to do tests, because it's just like one straight line there. You take a turn and then one straight line back, and then boom, you've hit a mile. So you don't have to think a lot, and you don't have to make many turns, just 2 turns. I like this, and I like testing myself here because, I've gotten older since I used to run here. I used to run here when I was in my early 30s, and now I'm 41. But I know one thing, that this mile has not changed. This mile is exactly the same. It's concrete, it's grass, it's asphalt, and it's the same exact perfect mile that it was 8 years ago when I was in fantastic shape. The only thing that has changed is me, and I like to test myself against that. I averaged a 7:45 minute pace on this short 3-mile workout, where I was going borderline all out. I could have gone faster if I was doing half mile repeats. I feel like I could have hit a 7:30 maybe, if I had a chance every half mile to gain, catch my breath. But, this is about where I am, my fitness is. But 8 years ago, if I ran if I went out and ran 4 or 5 miles casually, I would run a 7:45. If I was pushing myself, I could run a 6-minute mile. I could break a 6-minute mile, if I was really pushing myself. So, I like to test myself versus, the ghost of myself, really. And to think I'm still only 41 years old. It's like we were with my grandfather the other day, and he's 92, and he's, showing signs of it. He's been a very active man his entire life, and you couldn't tell he was in his 90s, a year or two ago. But now it's very evident, and it really is just makes you think you only have so much time on this earth, and you want to make the most of it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to have this BHAG goal of qualifying for Boston, running a 3-hour marathon, because that's something to hang your hat on. I've done a couple things in my life where I can hang my hat on it. Obviously married the love of my life, my wife, and had 2 perfect children, a son and a daughter. And we're lucky to have those things, and I'm lucky to have those things. But I've done a couple other things, like completing an Ironman, completing a marathon, running a 100-mile race in just over 24 hours. Like, those are things that people, if you see me somewhere out and about, like, people want to talk to me about that kind of stuff. So it'd be great to have something that I could hang my hat on, like qualifying and running the Boston Marathon. You know, I know a couple people have done it. But anyway, so I like to test myself here on this perfect mile because it really just shows you who you are. This mile hasn't changed, but I have. But I can get back to where I was, you know, on this road. So I'm planning on coming back here. I've been back here a couple times since I moved away from this neighborhood, but it's actually between where I work and where I pick up my kids and where I live and everything. So it's not out of my way. I literally just like changed my clothes in the car, went to the gym, did a very short workout, and then came here to do this. So anyways, thank you all for watching this video. I know it was another short one, but these are fun to make too. And I will see y'all on the next one. Please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Please like the video if you like it.